Monday morning, comes into school. Man, do you know what happened? Yes, I do. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. You were walking in the door and tripped and smacked your face right on the doorknob. He said, man, I appreciate you telling me that, man. Whew. I get sober. I go to my 10-year reunion. Y'all know exactly what I had to do. Tom. And I told him, and he laughed. Thank goodness. He laughed. I was like, man, you take a shot. He laughed. And he said, I thought I just dreamed that. You know, the point I'm trying to get to is I held on to a lie that was stupid for 10 years. For what reason? Because I didn't want him, to upset him. See, we got some strange reasons we lie. So we know that if we're painstaking, we got to be honest. And then things begin to change. So here's the deal. Do you even have the ability to be honest? That's a big question. Right? Well, you remember where it talked about constitutionally? We heard that word constitutionally. So the first time I heard that word, I thought what that meant was, it ain't in the Constitution. I ain't got to worry about it. But then my sponsor, and by the way, this ain't what we used to look words up, right? 4 decades ago, right? What'd we use? Dictionary, like Webster, right? And so I looked it up, and this is kind of what it said. It says right here. Oh, okay. So what it means is it basically means that that constitutionally is something that we hold on to so hard that it changes our life, that it begins to make, it shapes us to who we are, right? But it also talks about that it is a part of our nature. Well, what does that mean? You got the other two? Thank you. Okay. So here's the thing. The thing is that we have to grab hold of the fact that it becomes a part of our nature. So here's the deal. Is it going to be who we are, or are we going to go back to how we grew up? See, I can no longer blame my family for my issues. So now I got to change my nature. It can't be that my nature is about lying. It's got to be so ingrained that it becomes what? Who I am, right? And so one of the things that we begin to see is that God provided us a human nature. And the funny thing is, we talk about how good everybody is. Y'all do know when we were born, we got sin nature, right? We ain't that good. We ain't that good. Matter of fact, the Bible basically tells us there ain't no man that can be honest. So the only way I can change my nature is through who? Through Papa God. That's it. So it needs to be a prayer of mine. So let's look at Proverbs 11:3. And it says, right up here. Did I get it out of order? Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. What's treacherous mean? If somebody's treacherous, it means that they are premeditated evil. They are looking to be evil in your life. So guess what? Anybody ever done something and go, I don't know why I did that. I wish I'd never done that. Or let's narrow it real down. Anybody ever said, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Wish I hadn't said that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times what I found was some of the things I said to people, cut them all over the place. You know what? That's premeditated evil. That's treacherous. We don't think we're like that. Well, I just reacted. No, it was in your heart. Because you see, the word said, whatever comes out of your mouth came out of your heart. So if you're doing things, you're saying things to people that hurt them, that cut them down, guess what? That's in your heart. And you're not going to change your heart. You are incapable of changing your heart. But who is? Yeah, that's right, Papa God himself. That's why I got to be willing to say, man, my heart is evil, but you are righteous. Make me more like you. Don't say make me more righteous. Make me more like you. Because as humans, we can't do it. So here's the thing. He talked about something else too. Rigorous honesty. Well, that word rigorous, I don't know. What do y'all think when you hear that word? Rigorous. Come on. Y'all talk to me. What was that? Rough. What else? Repetitive. Strong. Anybody ever think about like, you know, it's like one of them words you don't go, hey, I hope you're rigorously honest with me. Right? It's like what? It's like you're it's kind of like, you know, they go, man, you need to be rigorously honest, right? That's the way, blunt, very good. That's the way that I have to look at it. And I look at Proverbs 11, 4 and 5. And it says, riches won't help you on the day of judgment. That's true. You can't buy your way out. But right living can save you from death. The godly are directed to be by honesty, and the wicked fall beneath their load of sin. So guess what? If we're living in dishonesty, what are we living in? Sin. It don't matter who you are. That's what it said at first. It don't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much you got. It doesn't matter how influential you are. That day when you stand there before God, all that's gone away. Comes down to this. Were you honest? Were you honest with me when you said you wanted me to guide your life? You made a commitment that I was going to be Lord of your life. Was that honest or dishonest? But one of the things that I think about rigorous honesty is a choice with an action, right? Let's look up, can we look up rigorous? Oh my goodness. Rigorous is what? Adhering to strict standards or methods. It's a choice with action. Think about that. It's a choice with an action. So in other words, what rigorous means, it means it's a discipline. It's when we say, you know what, I'm going to live this way no matter what, so therefore I'm going to make sure that each and every day when I get up that I'm honest with God. And then I'm going to go be honest with each and every person. And it's like working out. Man, did you bump my car? Maybe. No. Yeah, I did. I apologize. No, I need the insurance information. But at any rate, it don't matter. You get what I'm saying. Oh, this is going to raise my insurance. We go all over the place. Like I said earlier, I had to be rigorously honest and go, no, I cannot create more loss. Because guess what that would have done? A, I could have gone to jail. B, they didn't have to cover anything. And C, I'm stealing just like the dude that stole from me. Ain't no difference. And yet I'm judging him. So the more rigorous honesty I can have, the more ability it becomes natural. It becomes just natural. And that's exactly what we want to be. And it talks about that those that can't be rigorously honest, constitutionally honest or rigorously honest, what? They ain't got a shot. But not only is it a discipline, it's one of those things that you begin to kind of get excited about. Man, yeah, it's like this. Anybody ever lift weights in here? Right. It's like, everybody remember exactly what you maxed out on your bench? Oh, yeah, man. When I played football, right, what do? They go right up on the board, man. I'm like, I want to be on top of the board. you know. Or you sit there, you do, you know, squats or press or whatever, man. It's like, yeah, they're going to put it up there. That's how you want to be rigorous on. You know, man, that was a big one to take. Say, yes, I did do that. It's on top of the board. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? Begin to get excited because you know what? What does it say? In the 9th step, it tells us that basically we're not going to be ashamed of our past. We're going to let that go. We're no longer going to be held by what we did in the past. Because you know why? We're willing to say whatever. I'll tell you the truth. Like I've said many times, you don't know what's in my 5th step? Come on. I don't have a problem with it. Why would I? No longer holds anything on me because I've been rigorously honest with that. So you have to you got to continually build yourself up. You have to continually sit there and say, you know what? It's an integrity. See, integrity's awesome. When you ain't got it, you don't worry about it. Man, my aunt and uncle went and told my sponsor, I've been sober 4 years. Yeah. And Thanksgiving, they still counting the daggum silver before I leave. Right? It just got a little smoother. Instead of saying, hey. Now it's like, hey, come here, let me talk to you for a minute, my uncle would say, right? I know the deal. I may have been 5 years sober. I don't remember, but I remember this much. I remember I looked at Bobby and I said, I don't know what's going on, but they keep thinking I'm stealing silverware. The silver. He said, you ever steal the silver? Yeah, of course I did. Don't change overnight. Now, if I go and I tell that my same aunt and uncle, hey, I'm going to be here next week to do this, I'm going to be there next week to do that. That's the change that we begin to have, right? But here's the other thing, is we have to realize that God's got a plan, and if we keep trying to lie through it, it's hard for him to move us where we need to go. 1 Timothy 6:17 says this. Teach those who are rich in this world not to be proud, not to trust in their money, which is so unreliable. Here today, gone tomorrow. Their trust should be in God, who richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. Who gives you everything you need? God gives you everything you need. Now, why did I say that? Because you got to realize that as long as you're not honest and truthful, God can't operate and give you what he wants to give you. Why? It's not that he won't. He can't. Because he can't trust us with it. Right? But then y'all remember where it said capacity to be honest? Capacity to be honest. Can I just be honest with y'all? I put that last verse in the wrong place. There we go. Transparent. But it works. Capacity to be honest. Do we have the definition of capacity? Because man, this is so cool. What does capacity mean? Talk to me a little bit. Ability. What else does capacity mean? Let me ask you this. You get on an elevator, what does it say right there? Capacity load, right? That's right. So you got to be honest about how much you weigh. Now me, in RC, get on the elevator, may go up, may not, be okay. But if we're honest about it and I say, hey brother, I'm going to step off so you can go up. You see what I'm saying? So what is capacity? It's also literally being honest with everything to make sure that we have full capacity. So the thing is that Proverbs 12:22 kind of pretty much says it. We got that one? Oh man, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. The Lord detests lying lips. You lying, you dying, literally. But he delights in those who tell the truth. He does what? Delights. What's delight mean? Let me tell you something. When I see one of my grandkids coming to me, right? What happens to me? I get all delighted. I literally light up and I'm like, whoo, So what is it about lies that destroys our relationship? Because it says the Lord detests lying lips. It's not like, I could take it or leave it. He detests it. What does that mean? It means to literally want to be away from it. So how many times, and I know none of y'all ever did this, I'm probably the only one, but how many times did we negotiate with God? That's exactly what he's talking about. How many times did we promise we were never going to do this, or swear we were never going to do that again, or whatever? Anybody else? Y'all don't have to raise your hand on that one, because I know you lying if you don't raise your hand. But at any rate, the thing is that that's what it's talking about. On one hand, I'm going, oh, Lord, I'll never do that again. Oh, thank you for taking me. And in the back of my head, I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to get around this. We become the best lawyers in the world, man. We're negotiating with God, right? But that's the problem. We're trying to use man's law, not God's law. It'll never work out for you. So he literally says, man, when you lie to me, I detest you. Man, I remember one of my kids caught him. Doesn't matter, just caught him. And he looks me right in the eyes, and he starts lying to me. And it's not one of those lies that could be true. It's like you just went stupid because what you're saying ain't even making sense, right? Y'all know those kind of lies, right? And he keeps going, and I'm like, you sure that's? And after a while, I'm like, you know what, man? I don't even want to hear it anymore. How much more are we sometimes like that with God himself? That was 22, yep. So when you're honest, when we're honest, it puts us in a position to be receptive to God's will for our lives. See, when we become honest with him, then he will show us things that we couldn't hear. See, one of the problems when we lie and we're not honest, we can't hear. We can't hear the truth. Right? It's like, what do they say? Don't confuse me with the facts. That's why we have to realize people are going to find out anyways. And well, a lot of times we make that choice to just be straight up foolish looking. And that is not the way God designed us. So the truth is, you can't be in a place for Papa God to do a work and change your life if you're living in a lie. So what do I mean by that? In other words, what do we say? Lord, help me recover. Help me get in a position to change my life. Help me to be a better person, right? Isn't that what we do when we get into recovery? Because I don't know about y'all. I wasn't sitting out there, help me to be a better life here, God, because I know you can. No, I was like, ooh, don't look at me. Ooh, I'm going to be over here, right? Shame, remorse. But when I go, God, I can't figure out how to do this. I keep screwing up. I don't know what else to do. I give it to you. If you're that honest, that he begins to move some things on our behalf. What does that ninth step also say in the promises? That he will what? He will do for us what we could not do for ourselves. When does that happen? Man, one of my favorite verses is do all you can do and stand and watch the glory of the Lord. See, he wants us to participate, but he really wants to take care of us. Literally. You got to stop building your life on a house of lies. The problem with it, I'm going to tell you, my friends, you lie long enough about something, you'll start believing it. You'll even have memories about it. You'll even think that you were there. But it's not true. It's not true. Man, when I came in, my sponsor, I love that, man. My sponsor looked at me one day, he said, man, you've lived a lot of life for someone your age. And I thought, well, yes, I have. No, what he was trying to say is you lie so much, it's like you got about 6 different lives. Right? Because there ain't no way in 20 years you did all this. Especially since we're talking from 1 to 20, right? You didn't do all that. Point is, when I stopped living in a house of lies, I finally walked out And when I walked out, I began to see not just the truth, but I started seeing hope. And I started seeing recovery. And I started seeing those things. My life it changed because I didn't want that back there anymore. And when I finally asked God to totally take out all the character defects, you know what happened? It's like that house of lies just blew down. It wasn't there anymore. Oh, don't get me wrong. I can still choose to go back and lie. And he'll work on you. Oh, man. He will work on you. Because there's a lot of times that you told kind of like maybe 90% the truth. But that 10% shade comes back to bite you. Why did that happen, God? Because you said, would you please remove these character defects from my life? That's how he does it. Do we have abomination? I'm sorry. Capacity, power to learn or retrain. Let's look at that. Retrain knowledge. It's a mental ability. So what does that mean? I can make that difference only with God's mindset. Great. Constitutional inherent mental nature. Capacity, we're good. Maximum amount that can be contained. Mental ability. Y'all notice he's got these same words keep coming up. Mental ability. And then abomination. Thank you. Because this is crazy, man. Woo-woo. It's been a day. I'm just going to go ahead and be honest with you. It's been a day, right? Like I said, I ain't never had everybody steal everything, including the kitchen sink. That's crazy, isn't it? At any rate, that's okay. It's fine. Fort Valley. Fort Valley. Yeah. It could be a rough neck of the woods, part of it. But here's the thing. Let's talk about, while they're looking that up. Did I miss a verse, by the way? See, this is, man, I'm just being raw, and here we are. Did I miss the last verse? Okay, well, at any rate, one of the verses I had that I ain't got on there somewhere, it talks about how I know, because it used a different word. It was the same thing. It talks about how we're an abomination to the Lord. And what is the definition of abomination? This is crazy. And it's coming up, right? Just read it to me. I does not care whether we see it or not. Causes a what? All right, the version I like says it causes what? It's an abomination. Now, what does that mean? Abomination, loathing. What? Yes, hit me with it again. Come here, because nobody hear you. Come up here. Come here. Hurry it up. All right.
Abomination causes extreme disgust, loathing, and hatred.
Listen, God's saying that's what you is when you can't tell the truth. You're an abomination. I mean, think about that. Loathing. Anybody ever loathe somebody? Oh, here they come again. Oh, I should just leave. Oh, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but we've all had somebody in our life like that, right? I mean, literally. Here's the worst part. Have you ever been that person? My family would be like, here he comes again. Right? And how you come? I like this, right? You come like this. You're like, hey, how y'all doing? Everybody doing good? I hope you all doing good. Got a little money. And, and I hope everybody, I tell you what, I just appreciate and love my family. Can you pay my bill? And right? And that's loathing. And that's exactly what it's talking about. And then it goes on and it just basically doesn't, it's almost like God says, I don't even want to be around you right now. Doesn't mean he doesn't love us. Doesn't mean he's throwing us out or rebuking us. He's rebuking us, but not throwing us out. And what's the whole deal with that? His bottom line is this. I want to be in the presence of the Most High God and be in a place that I can worship him and love him and receive his love back. Oh, thank you. Cause extreme, I like that. Extreme what? Disgust. Ooh. I don't want to be the one that causes a disgust in anybody's life. What's disgust? It's just like nasty, ain't it? All right, but here's the thing. What are examples of being honest in our recovery? Well, let's look at the fourth step. What does it say? Made a what? Searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Ooh. How do you do that? Comes down to one thing. You get honest with yourself. See, and they give us a way out. That's what I love. It says, made a searching and fearless moral inventory. It ain't got to be 100% true. It's just got to deal with the moral issues, right? It's not necessarily sitting there describing if I'm a moral person or not a moral person. It's just here's the things I did that probably weren't very moral. Right? But what I love is you go on to the fifth step, and what does it say? And it sums it all up with this. Admitted to God, ourselves, and another human being a few things. Some of the stuff. What does exact mean? Exact nature of our wrongs. What does exact mean? It means the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. You see, here's the deal. If I'm not willing to do that, I might as well have not even brought it up, because then it becomes a half measure. I don't know what it is today. And maybe I'm the only one running into this. But I listen to people's fifth steps today, and I don't hear them being totally honest about their part of anything. What I hear now is like the victim list. Am I the only one that hears that? I mean, it's almost like, well, this happened to me, and, well, I did this because of all these things that happened to me. No, that's not what it said. It said just deal with your stuff, the exact nature of your wrongs, not someone else's. Why is that? Because I have to get honest with who? Fifth step says, admitted to who? God, which is so funny, and I've said this so many times, but it's funny to me. We want to hide this from God. I don't want God to know this. He was there. He already knows. And then who's the next person? Ourselves. Oh, man, do you not get the fact that it's harder to be honest with yourself than it is with another person? See, once I started getting really honest with myself, and I put pen to paper and I really started writing it out and wrote the whole truth, nothing but the truth, literally with the help of God, I wasn't in fear of saying those things as much anymore. And then after I did a couple of them, I remember I was like, well, man, I did this. And I was kind of looking down. And my sponsor goes, dude, I never could figure out how to do that. Or I would have done it. All of a sudden I started going, really? I'm not the only person that ever did this. It's so funny how we think we are so unique in our sin. Sin been around a long time, since the beginning. And we all fall into it. Why do you think that what you did is any worse or less than whatever I did? It's not. And the more honest we are, the more freedom we have. What are we held by? Our what? Our deepest, darkest secrets. So when I can be honest with God, with myself, and with another human being about what's going on in my life, everything changes. We're going to cut it off there tonight. But the thing is, guys, we're going to leave it just like this. Just be a little more honest tomorrow than you are today. Just be a little bit more honest. When you do not be, we'll make it nice. When you're not as honest as you could be, recognize that. I don't care if you get in your truck or car and say, Lord, I did it again. Why did I do that? I should have been honest. And one day it'll bother you enough to where right before you say that lie or with that little twist, you're going to just realize the truth just jumped out of your mouth. See, that's when we have that whole change, when honesty becomes natural. And I believe that's what can happen to you guys. So who's the one that we want to be most honest with in our lives? Our Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us away from temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen.